You're listening to the Chinook Sports Podcast with your hosts, Nathan Bannerman and Robert Greer.
Number 47 for Boston. Both guys, 5 minutes each for fighting.
So it's basketball important up yesterday. It's so cheesy. I love it.
And welcome to episode number 5. How is everything going on your end there, Nathan?
Oh, pretty good. How about you?
Not too bad. You staying busy at work? Because I know I am.
Sure am. Thanks. Yeah, we both are, yes. But yeah, I mean, for myself, thanks to the NFL coming back. For you, probably unrelated.
Yeah, very unrelated. I got a few workplace injuries. I've still got a nagging cough. I don't know what the hell that is. COVID round 2, or maybe COVID scare round 2. I really don't have a clue. And walking 3 miles.
Could be the Saskatchewan air.
It could be most definitely we're getting the smoke in from, I don't know where, California?
Yeah, California, Washington. I think BC's also on fire now too. So,
oh, lovely.
2020.
Well, no, yeah, 2020 gets worse.
Yep.
Yeah, and then walking 3 miles in a pair of work boots doesn't really help things either. So,
Ooh, no,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I got a very sore toe right now. It's bandaged up. I'm putting polysporin on the thing. So yeah. Yeah,
well, it's just an excuse for you to sit back on Sundays and watch NFL.
And I do. And this past Sunday was quite nice, to be honest with you. A few upsets that I didn't really like, and one that I really, really, really think that I jinxed.
Oh? Because
every single team that I cheered for on the weekend lost.
You did cheer for the 49ers, didn't you?
Yes, I was.
Gosh.
Yes. Well, but yours wasn't the game that I was, cursing though.
Oh.
We'll get that. I don't know. We'll get to that game. How about?
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know. You got any, I don't know, predictions?
Bannerman's bold but stupid predictions.
Just had to throw that one in there. Just had to. I'm sorry.
Of course. No, it's fine. It's fine.
I have to get
might be bold.
I have to get my $15 worth in on that one. So
yeah, honestly, no, that's fair.
Let's start with the AFC. Neither of the teams that we cheer for are in the AFC, so this could be a little bit of an easier pill to swallow. We'll start off with the AFC East, I guess.
The East. All right. The AFC East is it's going to be an interesting division because obviously Tom Brady's not with the Patriots, but Cam Newton came in and brought a totally different dynamic, and they still won.
Oh, of course. And really, don't ask me who they were playing because I can't remember 1 week from the next anymore. I'm just looking at the stats.
Miami.
Okay. Yeah, and what do you think?
Yeah.
Like, are the Patriots going to be that good this year?
I think so. I was saying to someone the other day, Cam Newton can go into New England and not have a ton of pressure on him, right, even though there's going to be a lot of pressure because New England's a winning organization. It's been obvious. They win with their defense, which has been obvious. So it kind of just brings him into, he doesn't have to be, like in Carolina, he had to be the guy. They won when he was good, and they won when he played, and they lost when he played bad, right?
Right.
There was no middle ground. It was either Cam's great and they win by 50, or Cam's terrible and everything's off the rail. So he's kind of in this situation where he can just be himself. Clearly the team likes him because he was named a captain already. Hadn't even played it down yet. And the team's like, cool, like you're good. So got a lot of confidence from Coach Belichick. So I think they could take the division if they, keep up just with their winning ways.
But I think the biggest team in that division, like for me, I see Buffalo winning it this year. It's their year. They're favorites. They're favorites. New England really, like you said, I don't think he's got the pressure to win in New England just because I think he's going to be that transitional quarterback, and Belichick probably is probably in his last couple of years with the team as a head coach. Like they've had their time. Let's rebuild. Let's start back up with a new coach. And Newton just kind of gets you there type thing.
Yeah, definitely. Jets and Dolphins.
I mean, no, I don't even
until know. The Jets, the 49ers face the Jets on Sunday.
Also, the Jets will be 1-1 after next weekend.
Look, we'll get to the NFC West later, but
hey, you're the one that brought them up. I'm sorry. Keep
but
going.
I mean, doing some scouting on the Jets, their pass defense is terrible. Buffalo's Josh Allen threw 313 yards against their defense.
Oh, geez.
Run defense was fine. Like they didn't give up much on the ground, but like in that division with Cam Newton, with Josh Allen, who knows about Tua? I don't know how his last name's pronounced, but Miami's first round pick. I mean, the Jets are just a mess, and I don't think they'll ever not be a mess. I think I looked up, and they had only had a winning record twice in the last 10 or 12 years.
Right, yeah.
So, and I don't think any was with Mark Sanchez as quarterback. So that's
Mr. Butt Fumble himself.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty much going to be Buffalo and New England as the runaways in that division.
Yeah. AFC North, we have Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. Here's another
this is Baltimore's division.
Well, you never know how Big Ben plays. You can never count him out.
No, that's true. But I don't know. Lamar Jackson, just the dude's dynamic, can do anything. I think he's going to have a bit of a slower year this year, just because teams have a full year of film on him.
Yeah.
But the problem with him is you can, sit through a week's worth of film.
Yeah.
And he'll still beat you because he's athletic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You can't stop. You can't coach against an athlete. You know what I mean? You can pressure him and he'll get away. How do you teach tackling on a guy that's literally just going to juke you out of your shoes? And he's gone, right?
Yeah, the practice leading into it, you have to do your tackling drills. That's the only way you... Tackling drills and coverage, that's the only way you can, defend against somebody like him. And you know, and Pittsburgh, you know, I feel they're like the Patriots too. Like they were a dominant team at one point, and now they're all getting up there in age, and they might be in a transition year yet again. So, but I think they're going to be good enough to take a wild card spot. And the
playoffs have changed this year too.
Yeah, I was just going to say that they've changed, and we'll probably talk about that when we get into the NFC a little bit more, because I've got a really bold and stupid prediction for you that you probably would just flip. So next we have an AFC South. Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans, Houston Texans, and the Indianapolis Colts. Jacksonville and Tennessee, yeah, like this. To me, this is a coin toss of a division.
This is one of the dumbest divisions, I think, in the NFL. I mean, once like the Colts kind of, you know, once Andrew Luck retired, I don't know. I mean, Houston's really good, and I think Houston will win the division again.
Well,
but the other three teams, I don't know. I mean, I can't see them being competitive.
Well, you have to remember, Indy has Phillip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett too, as well. So, like, their quarterbacking isn't that bad. Jacksonville, I really like what they've done the last couple of seasons. Gardner Minshew is just, you know, me being a redneck, he's like almost God to me. Like
that's true.
He's what I wish I could have been. Let's just say that. Yeah, and as you said, Tennessee and Houston, like, yeah. I think this is one of the most odd divisions in the NFL.
Yeah.
To me, it's going to be neck and neck, and whoever wins the most out of the teams in that division, they're going to take it.
That makes sense. Whoever wins the most games is going to win the division. I like your thinking. That was bold.
Just call me prediction. John Madden the second. All right. You got to the end zone because he ran faster.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll go with Houston taking the division. I mean, they only lost to the Super Bowl champs, so whatever.
The Kansas City Chiefs. And that gets us to the AFC West, where we have...
Good segue.
Oh, I know, right? I'm working on this. But thanks for the setup, too. So we got Kansas City, LA, Las Vegas. Boy, is that going to be weird to say. And the Denver Broncos. Yeah. To me, Kansas City's taking this division no matter what. They're just way too damn good. But I do really like the Chargers. Tyrod Taylor is one hell of a good quarterback. And I think Justin Herbert, being number 2, is learning a lot from Tyrod Taylor. I don't know if you've been watching any of... what is that? It's an HBO show, and they followed the Chargers and the Rams this year. And
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, yeah. And Tyrod Taylor is like a workhorse. He's the first one in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. Last one to leave after watching game tapes. Like, I think he's severely underrated as far as I'm concerned. And to be honest with you, I've learned a lot about both the Los Angeles teams.
Hmm.
Just watching that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's quite a. I really like the show, to be honest with you. But
That's good.
But I think the Chargers will be a wild card as well. But Casey's definitely going to be taking it.
Yeah, definitely Casey's gonna. I mean, the point differential already is 14.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, Baltimore's is better with 32, but they were playing the Browns, so
Yeah.
that's that is what it is. But yeah, Chargers have a good defense. I always make fun of them. A guy I work with, he was born in San Diego,
Right.
and he's a Chargers fan, so I always make fun of him for the Chargers. But they do have a pretty stellar defense.
Yeah.
They just signed Joey Bosa to like a huge deal.
Oh wow.
To keep him in LA for like 5 or 6 years or something like that. So
yeah,
and I think the Raiders, now that they have a home and a different home, I think they could be like a sleeper team.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd almost give them a year.
Kinda, yeah, I mean it's gonna be a weird year for everyone, obviously, with like the fans. Some will be in attendance, some won't be. But I think next year fans are gonna be inside the new stadium in Las Vegas. I think that completely changes the dynamic of that team around.
Yes, 100%. We've seen how Vegas reacted with the Golden Knights, and I'm guessing that they're going to be the same with the Raiders too. You'll have a bunch of Las Vegas locals, and then you'll have the diehard Raider fans driving down from Oakland.
Yeah.
They're not going to be crossing the bridge going to, those 49er games all of a sudden. So,
and then Denver's there. I don't know. Denver. I was watching the Monday Nighter, and they were going through all the quarterbacks since Peyton Manning.
Oh,
and I think only like 2 out of like the 5 or 6 had a winning record. So, yeah, I don't know. That team's. I mean, I think they can be good. They just not ready. Not their time yet.
No, of course. And we'll get into my favorite division, the NFC East. Yeah, and
be careful with the name of this team who is leading the division.
Sorry. The Washington football team.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, they beat my Eagles, which, here's a bold prediction for me. After watching that game, and with all the Eagles' injuries, I don't see him making the playoffs. I really don't.
Really?
Players just went down left, right, and center, and it was like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, it was bad. Our offensive line is absolutely brutal. 7 sacks on Wentz. Like, god damn, like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, no. It was a horrible game. And you can't blame it on Wentz as far as I'm concerned. On special teams, I really want to point out that there's one player that really amazed me on special teams. His name is Alex Singleton. I think we should really watch out for this guy.
Never heard of him.
From what I've seen and heard, he's one hell of a linebacker too.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. I name really sounds familiar, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Never heard that name in Calgary before.
Yeah. I'm going to make a bold prediction and say Dallas is probably going to win this division.
Again.
As No. What do you mean again? Didn't Philadelphia win it last year?
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Talking about Dallas, kind of to swerve it away from our prediction stuff. Oh, and then you got the Giants, which let's be honest.
That's over. It's already done for them.
Yeah.
They're 0-1. It's done.
If some random New Yorker is listening to this podcast, we're going to get a lot of hate mail.
Oh, well. I mean, someone's listening, though, so that's good.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, on the Cowboys front, we have another idiotic, announcer chiming in on Dak Prescott. I'll play the audio clip and then we can talk about it.
You're commanding a lot of young men and some older men, and they're all looking to you to be their CEO, to be in charge of the football team. Because of all that, I don't have sympathy for him going public with, I got depressed. I suffered depression early in COVID to the point that I couldn't even go work out. Look, he's the quarterback of America's team. And you know and I know, this sport that you play, it is dog eat dog. It is no compassion, no quarter given on the football field. If you reveal publicly any little weakness, it can affect your team's ability to believe in you in the toughest spot.
Well, and that was Mr. Skip Bayless on Dak Prescott's depression.
I just get so heated every time I listen to this clip. I think we played it like 3 times before we even actually like started recording.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, the more words he says, the dumber he sounds, because I feel like Dak coming out about his depression and his mental health is absolutely the right thing.
Yeah.
In this time.
Yeah.
Because COVID's affected everyone. I remember coming home the day I found out our store was closing for whoever knew how long. And, I just live with my mom. So I like to be the one that makes sure that we're good, like
100%.
have money coming in, all that. Right. And I just like started crying. I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I don't know what's going on. Mom's like, it's okay. She's like, the government's got the CERB money. You know what I mean? Like, we're fine. Like, really don't worry about a thing. Like, it's all good. But I was like, but like, I make sure that we're good and things like that. So like right away, I was like, I don't know what's going on. But, with Dak, he lost his brother and already lost a parent a couple of years ago. And I like what Skip said. He's the quarterback of America's team. That's correct. Yeah. That's a huge platform for him to come out and say something like that.
Yeah.
Because I follow like Niners Twitter, obviously, and not one person said anything negative about him. And there's a huge rivalry. Like, we would be happy to take Dak out every play if we could. But off the field, man, there's been nothing but respect for what he's done and what he's come out to say. So I don't know. Skip's just gotta, like, I hope he doesn't have to deal with anything going on in his mind. And maybe that's good for him. Maybe his life's perfect enough to not worry about a thing.
Yeah.
Great. But like, come on, like, read the room.
Yeah, right. Like, and him making the point that he is the quarterback to America's team, I really think that shows more leadership that he came out with it, relating to people. Hey, I'm a multimillionaire. My life is made. And I still got depressed. because of this COVID stuff. Like, and, you know, the guy probably has a mansion, has a gym in his house, and a half football field in his backyard. And, you know, hey, like, you know, him getting so depressed that he could barely get out of bed and move and whatever else, that shows that he is relatable to the rest of us minions and people who spends hundreds and basically pays a salary type thing, right? So I'm really glad that he did come out and talk about it, and you know, I do send my condolences if he'll ever hear this, you know, like, and you know it, and really he's been through a lot. Like, you know, one of his parents passed away, and then his brother committed suicide. You know, that takes a toll on somebody. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
What, you know, how good a life you're leading, like that. That's huge. That's a huge weight on your shoulders.
Yeah, and to as we talk about this, remembering what Stephen A. Smith said when he brought his version of Dak coming out on this.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith, we got to bring him on because it's already been 2 episodes that we've brought his name up. But anyway, he was saying his brother died in a car accident.
Right.
And so he had said one night he just went driving down a street and just drove. But the catch was it was basically down. It was almost like going down like 17th Ave or something. Right. He said he went through all the red lights and he was like, I don't know how I didn't get hit. He was like, I don't know how I didn't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
But he was like, I just didn't care.
Right.
He was like, I was at that point where I could care less about myself. And he's like, I was just thankful I didn't hurt myself, and I was thankful I didn't hurt anyone else. So like, like I really hope Skip doesn't have to deal with something, and he probably has dealt with something, and he doesn't even really realize it because
100%.
You know, as you and I talked about before, we just deal with it in different ways.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, just it was another case of wrong time to say something, but also maybe the right time to say something like that because all of a sudden
people are talking
stories like
right?
Skips and and even like other athletes are coming out talking about their issues, and honestly, it really just goes to say money doesn't buy happiness as much as us poor people think it does.
But it can buy you a boat.
And maybe a truck to pull it.
I'm so glad you got that reference. I am so glad. I didn't
spend 3 months in a country station for nothing, you know, so.
In the middle of Manitoba. So
Yeah.
So go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, good on Dak. Obviously, we all have our stories, and glad that he came out and said what he did. And I mean, I hope when the Niners face them in December that we absolutely whip his ass. But we'll do it with respect, and we'll do it with with as much love as we possibly can. But yeah,
okay, I got you there. So,
but yeah, I think Washington's going to surprise and take the division.
Oh, and what are they called?
The football team.
Okay, all right. Damn. I was kind of wanting to hope you say the other word.
You know, it's a funny team because, you know, obviously writing about them and things. In the past, obviously, they had a different name. So all of a sudden you have, you know, we have to pull out pictures from Getty Images and it all says Redskins. And I'm like, I don't think like we have to edit everything now to say football team because it's just so weird. It's just a weird situation that they're in.
Yeah.
But
And
they're 1-0.
yeah, no, exactly. And you know, even as us as CSFL fans, we have to do that with Edmonton too.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we're really not talking about the CFL right now, but yeah, so.
But yeah, so anyways, I think Washington's going to surprise because they've got a pretty good young quarterback.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera, their head coach, is going through a lot. I don't know if you saw, but he had an IV injected into him.
Yeah.
During the game. Yeah, and then they scored like, what was it, 20 unanswered points or something like that. So
yeah, they
I don't know.
They scored quite a few unanswered points.
I think this team's got a. I think they're going to run on adrenaline, run on. What's the word I'm thinking of? The culture, the stories, maybe.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like, you know, they got a lot of people looking at them for a whole bunch of reasons.
Yeah.
And even Alex Smith, who's their backup, hasn't played football in like 2 years. He's their backup quarterback.
Well, and you really, he was helping like Haskins quite a bit during the game. Like, you know, mm-hmm. Haskins took the iPad over and you could see like Haskins, Allen, and Smith all like reviewing the play. So like even if Smith is like the third stringer and doesn't even touch the ball, just with him being in the locker room and being in the vicinity and him with his knowledge of the game will help these other two quarterbacks big time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I could, like, to me, I could see Smith as being a coach.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But I guess let's move on with the NFC North. We have Mitch Trubisky's Chicago Bears. I probably butchered his name. I'm sorry. And then we have Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers, which I think his time is almost up in Green Bay too, and he knows it. Then we have Minnesota, and then we have Detroit. I really liked the way Detroit and the Bears played.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really watch the other game at all. Like, I didn't watch the Packers game. I didn't watch the Vikings game. So, but like the Lions and the Bears, they had one hell of a good game. And to me, shit, I'm still going to go out on the limb and say Detroit's going to take the division.
Okay, what?
What? Well,
listen, I've known you for a good amount of time.
And I'm not smoking anything, but hear me out. Matthew Stafford, he was injured all last season. This is his rebound year to prove how good of a quarterback he is. And I don't think he's going to let that go to waste. I really think this is Detroit's year. They're going to win the NFC North. And no, that is not my big, bold prediction.
Man, wait, you got a bigger, bold prediction?
Yes, I do.
Yo, if you say Detroit's going to win the Super Bowl, I'm hanging up.
I did not say that. I just said win the division.
Wow, that's wild. I don't think I've heard anyone in the last 4 years say Detroit's going to win the division.
Well, nice to know that I'm the first.
And only.
And only.
The first and only outside of Detroit and Lower Ontario. Southern Ontario.
All right.
Wow, I'm shook. I'm rattled by that.
You're
I feel
rattled?
I'm gonna be even more rattled later on, I can tell. But yeah, I mean, I gotta take Henry Burris and the Bears on this one.
Homer.
Homer. That's a homer pick, but no, I don't know. I think, like you said with Stafford, I think Mitch has had a tough go, and now he's got to prove himself because they traded for Nick Foles.
Yeah, they got my boy on, as a backup. Quarterback
Homer.
winning or Super Bowl winning quarterback. MVP
Homer.
quarterback.
Homer.
They have him sitting as a backup to a failed quarterback that they're just trying to save that draft by keeping him in there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. And I feel that that's why he's going to have a bit of a bounce back year, because they didn't give him, they didn't re-sign him for like his 5th year option. So this literally is his contract year. So he's got to prove that he's worth being taken over Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and any other damn player from that draft.
And let's be honest right now, he was not worth being taken over those guys.
No.
Like the Bears failed that draft by not taking Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Mahomes was taken 10th, I believe. Or yeah, somewhere, kind of top tier.
Yeah.
And Arizona could have taken him. 49ers could have taken him. And obviously like a couple other teams could have taken him.
Right.
So it's interesting. I mean, obviously he would improve everyone's franchise.
Oh, 100%.
As we've seen.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting how, each team looks at a player and goes, we're okay.
Yeah.
Like we're good. I think in the NHL, I think it was like, Henrik Zetterberg or Pavel Datsyuk or someone from Detroit was taken in like the 7th round. I think like one of the final picks of their draft year.
Yeah.
And you look and you're like, whatever, like not going to be not going to be an all-star, might not even play a game. All of a sudden, couldn't imagine life without him, right? So it's just interesting how teams look at it. And even the 49ers, I mean, we were fine with Garoppolo. And we picked Nick Bosa. So,
well, and that's the thing, like, you look at the drafts, and I've said it for like years and years and years and years. The draft is a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe outside of the top 3, who the fuck are you getting? Pardon my language, but like really,
yeah.
Like, look at I'll revert back to a couple of Calgary Flames drafts, and you'll probably be like, "Oh my God, here we go," and it'll be like, but remember the year that we drafted Trevor Kidd?
Oh yeah,
we moved up in the draft to pick Trevor Kidd. The team that drafted right after us were the New Jersey Devils, and they picked Martin Brodeur.
Yep.
And do you remember a guy named Jesper Madsen? That was all the rave that Calgary picked up in the first round?
I don't.
Yeah. And I think it might have been, oh God. Yeah, he went 18th overall in the 1993 entry draft. Yeah. And he was supposed to be the next hot shot. Obviously, he wasn't. Like a Swedish-born right winger. Yeah, let's draft him 18th overall. And I don't have the entire draft list to see who all we could have drafted, but yeah, it's a complete crapshoot. It really is. So, like, you know, the Bears taking Trubisky over Mahomes. It, you know, not surprising, but yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, so realistically on that division, I do think the Packers take it. But I think it's going to be Packers and Bears who make the playoffs out of that division.
Right. Okay. And now we move to the NFC South. And this is where I'm going to knock you on your floor. We have the Saints. We have Carolina. We have the Falcons. And we have the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
This is my big, bold prediction. 3 of these 4 teams are making the playoffs. We're going to have the Saints, we're going to have the Falcons, and we're going to have the Buccaneers. All in the playoffs.
Okay.
How's that for bold?
It's bold. I could see, you know what? Not to knock down your bold, but I could see it happening though. I could see it happening because the NFC East obviously has to have one representative.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try and look up the new structure, but how many teams are allowed or are in the playoffs this year?
I think they're having 2 more teams out of each league because we had 2 wild card, or like not wild card teams, but we had 2 like bye week teams, and I think those bye weeks are now gone. So we'll have, rather than 6 teams make the playoffs, we'll have 8.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember they were saying, because the 49ers won the NFC last year.
Right.
They would have been the only team on a bye week. Whereas everyone else would have.
I thought it was the top 2 teams that had a bye week.
Was it? It could have been that too.
The top 2 teams, and they had the 2 wild card teams.
Right. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I can definitely see those 3 teams making it in. Yeah, that's not too crazy. The only team that might be the bold one is Atlanta.
Okay.
Because I think they're going to be middle of the pack in the NFC.
Right.
And then every team in the NFC West is basically improved in the offseason. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm down with that.
Okay.
I'll believe that.
All right.
Yeah. It's not terrible. It's not I mean, saying who did you say was going to win a division? That was the Detroit. That was a way bolder prediction.
See, and I thought, predicting 3 teams out of a division going into the playoffs would have been your, oh my God type moment. But
no, because even last year, if like Arizona had gotten a couple extra wins, there probably could have been at least 3 teams out of the West.
Right. Yeah.
At least somewhat in the in the playoff mix. I think Arizona had like 7 wins, 9 losses, and like a tie.
Right.
So yeah, like they almost had 3 teams coming out of that division. So
yeah. And I guess.
Yeah. So who do you think is going to win that division then, the NFC South?
I'm going to be a homer and be, your second favorite team. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Let's go Bucks.
Yeah. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So you think the Buccaneers are going to have a better season than the New Orleans Saints?
Yeah.
See, again, that's another bold prediction. Huh. Interesting. I think a lot of these teams, we haven't seen the best out of them because there was no preseasons.
And that's my big thing too. Like, Tom didn't play that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's going to be week 3, week 4 until we really see what these teams are made out of. So I really think there's going to be, teams that, may have gone, may have lost 1 or 2 games in the past are going to be losing 3 or 4 this year. If that makes sense. Just because we didn't have any preseason games. And and they said on Hard Knocks, the rookies getting the reps and whatever else, you usually seen that in the preseason. This year you don't have it. So it's like you're seeing them in the scrimmages and then they start getting into the regular season games. Now you're seeing what these rookies are made out of, if they, got what it takes. And we're going to see a lot of player transactions, player movements. Maybe 2 or 3 might go down with COVID and they'll have to bring 2 or 3 guys up. Mm-hmm. And maybe those 2 or 3 guys will wow somebody and make a run. It's going to be an interesting year. But, I just can't count Tom out. I can't count Brady out. I really can't. I hate to admit it. I don't like the Pats, but Brady's probably one of the greatest players we'll ever see play the game. Mm-hmm. No matter what team he's on. But it could be, Favre going to the Jets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the Buccaneers do have a decent team around him. And with Gronk being there too, it's a familiar face as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the Buccaneers kind of have a underrated but overrated team. So what I mean by that, if people don't understand, is they're overrated because they have Tom Brady, Gronk. Right. They brought in Leonard Fournette. They got Mike Evans, who's not overrated, and they have Chris Godwin on offense. That's just offense.
Yeah.
No one cares about their defense because no one does. It's just how it is in Tampa. No one really cares about their defense.
Right.
But they're underrated because they have such a great offense on paper.
Yeah.
They just need to have that chemistry. I mean, last year, Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
Right.
His only problem was the 30 interceptions he also threw with that.
Yeah.
If he throws only 15, so half of that, I don't think he leaves Tampa Bay if he didn't throw 30 interceptions.
Yeah.
But it's because of that, and then everyone focuses on that and thinks, oh, well, he's actually a terrible quarterback. But really, he threw 5,000 yards in that offense.
Yeah.
And, Bruce Arians, their head coach, he's an offensive genius.
Yeah.
That's really why Tom went there.
Yeah.
And, probably got an annual pass to Universal and Disney World. I don't blame the guy.
Well, I'm thinking he got the annual pass to Busch Gardens.
Probably, and he probably has season tickets to the Tampa Bay Rays. He's probably got it all. But
and the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah. Oh, of course. But yeah, they're just a underrated, overrated team that they could be a sleeper pick for that division.
Yep.
However, New Orleans picked up Emmanuel Sanders in the offseason in free agency.
Yeah.
To add to Michael Thomas, to Alvin Kamara, to Drew Brees. And their defense is pretty stellar.
Yeah.
They're consistently one of the best defenses. You don't have to be number one every year.
You just have to be consistent. Yep.
Yeah.
I fully agree.
And we've seen it in the CFL, right? Calgary was, top and everything for 3 or 4 years in a row and brought them one championship, which hurts. But you just got to be consistent. Who cares if you're number one? At the end of the day, if you don't bring home a championship.
Yep, go to the dance 3 years in a row, only bring home one championship. We really sound like the Riders.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I think the Saints are going to be. I think the Saints only lose maybe 3 games this year. I think they go 13-3. I'll just make that prediction.
Okay.
13-3 for the Saints.
Nice.
Panthers. Who is there? Oh, Teddy Bridgewater's their quarterback.
Yeah, Teddy.
So I don't know if you watched the Panthers game at all.
No, I didn't.
They had a chance on 4th down, 4th and 1.
Okay.
So their best player is Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
Probably one of the best players in the league.
Okay.
Best running back. They had him in the backfield. And normally you would think, okay, you're 4th and 1, 4th and inches, just you're down by a few points. I think they needed a touchdown or to win.
Yeah.
And they were in forget who they were playing, but just trying to quickly look at the score differentials to find out. I don't remember who they were playing. But anyway, not the point. The point is they were so close, and you just got to give it to your best player to get that 1 yard.
Yeah.
And they gave it to their fullback, and he didn't get it. And the announcers are like, "What the hell just happened?" They're like, "Why? Why wouldn't you give it to the best player on the field, no matter what team you are?"
Yeah.
Right. Like if you're the Eagles, you're going to give it to your best guy.
Right.
Even Detroit, you just got to give it to your best darn player.
Oh, 100%. You've got to.
And they didn't do it. And they lost by 4. So they needed a touchdown to win. And they were 4th and inches on the other side of midfield.
Right.
And you don't give it to your best player. That's dumb. That's how you lose a division in week 1. And I know you don't lose the Super Bowl in week 1. I get it.
Yeah.
But man, that's how you start losing your division early in the season because of dumb things like that.
100%. 100%.
I also have Christian McCaffrey on one of my fantasy teams, so I was very invested into that game.
Okay.
Oh, it was against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
That's why. But yeah, so I was very invested in that game, and I was like, oh, perfect. They're going to give it to him. He's going to get a first down, possibly a touchdown, because he's really good.
Yeah.
And they just and I get where they're going with it to maybe trick the defense.
Right.
But don't.
Yeah.
just don't. Just don't be dumb. Just do the good one thing that everyone's gonna do. You could bet on it. I bet you if Vegas had their gambling casinos open, everyone would have been like, boom, we're going in on McCaffrey to get this first down. And everyone would have been broke.
Well, and and that's kind of like the Seahawks blowing that Super Bowl too. Should have handed it off to Marshawn Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I guess, I don't know, talking about the Seahawks, where, our final division is the NFC West. We have the Arizona Cardinals, which I was really impressed with. I really like this quarterback that they picked up. His name is Chris Streveler. I've never heard of the guy, but he's damn good. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if he stepped foot on the field, but whatever. Then we have Seattle Seahawks, the Rams, and some team called the 49ers. Yeah. To me, this one's a toss-up. Seahawks, 49ers. I can't see Arizona, kind of surprising everybody and beating the 49ers again. You may know more about, the 49ers than I do. To me, it's a toss-up between the 49ers and the Seahawks in this one. Yeah.
Who would you pick? Who would you pick though? Out of the, whoever you pick, it's fine because it is a toss-up. But who would you go with?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks just to piss you off.
No, honestly, that's fine because every NFL analyst person on NFL Network or whatever has pretty much picked the Seahawks to win three games against San Francisco this year.
But here's the thing, my sleeper pick. So even though I think the Seahawks might win, my sleeper pick is not the 49ers, even though to me they're the toss-up. My sleeper is the Rams. And yet again, it's from watching Hard Knocks. I've learned a lot about that team. Like, Goff has something to prove, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Goff has something to prove, and I really like his playing. And the coach, Sean McVay, has actually basically compared him to, like, Joe Montana. His fall back and then his throw. Like, just, yeah. And then you have, like, Jalen Ramsey. Like, come on. Like, he's probably one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. He really is. There was another guy that I really liked too. Who is it? Andrew Whitworth. He's been in the league probably for about 30 fucking years. And he protects Goff's blind side. Like, the guy doesn't age. And to me, he's probably one of the best tackles in the NFL. He really is. Yeah, like I said, watching Hard Knocks, I took a few notes on a few of the guys, and I really like some of these. Like Jalen Ramsey, I just absolutely fell in love with the guy. Yeah, like it's, and they're hungry too. So,
yeah, I think LA's problem last year, because obviously the year before they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They had a lot of cap space tied up amongst, like, I think it was like 3 or 4 players.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get a lot of production if you have 4 players with $30 million contracts.
And
pretty much your whole salary cap eaten up.
Yeah, and Aaron Donald is the other guy on the defensive line that I really liked what I seen coming off that show. Yeah, like I don't even. Yeah, and they also have like Tristan Jackson as a wide receiver, so like they've got guys at every single position that are names. So, like Malcolm Brown, running back, like, goddamn, like, yeah, I like the Rams. I really do, but I don't see them winning the division. But to me, they're my sleeper pick too. So,
I think if a division could have 4 teams in the playoffs, I think the NFC West could be it.
Really?
I think so, because Arizona's improved a lot. Kyler Murray, their quarterback, the kid's like 5 feet 2 inches or something like that. Probably not. I think he's probably like 5'11" or something, but
Right.
he used to play baseball, so he's got that, you know, kind of like the Patrick Mahomes dual athlete kind of thing.
Yeah.
But man, the kid is fast. When he's out in the open, like he scored like a 22-yard rushing touchdown against the Niners.
Right.
And I mean, they had great blocking, but like, man, like this kid just got away from everyone. Like he's like that kid, you know, back in school, you had that one athletic kid who would always play hard, you know, at recess.
Yeah.
When you play flag football, like he's the guy that you're like, wow, like this guy's really good, but like really you're all just like 6 years old and like like everyone sucks when they're 6 except for this kid, and that's just how he played that's how he played the Niners defense. He was like that athletic 6-year-old, and everyone just couldn't catch him.
Yeah,
like he was the teacher's pet. Like the gym teachers would have loved him.
Yeah.
But they also got DeAndre Hopkins from Houston.
Okay.
In a trade in the off season, and he went off for 100+ yards and I think a touchdown possibly. And that's huge because they also have Larry Fitzgerald. There's another guy that's been around for, I think, since the NFL started.
Yeah,
like
quite
100 years ago.
Possibly.
But so you have him and Hopkins as your wide receivers on the corners.
Yeah.
Kenyon Drake. Oh, I think I disconnected. Am I still?
No. Yeah. No, you're still good.
There?
Yeah. You're still good.
Oh, okay. I just heard the little. I heard disconnect, so I was like, oh.
No, you're good.
Kenyon Drake is their running back. He's okay. Yeah, Drake running back. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Arizona's improved mightily. The Niners. They played the Niners tough last year, and the Niners won both games barely.
Right. Yeah.
But obviously took the L this time around. But man, I think Arizona is going to be a team that surprises a lot of people. But yeah, like I said, Rams as well. Rams are good. They just had a really bad year last year.
Yeah.
And they got rid of Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Changed their uniforms completely. So maybe that's what they needed to
and found themselves a new stadium.
Get back into their groove. And yeah, that too. Seattle's always going to be a team that's going to compete for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
One of the top seeds in the NFC conference in general.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, I think he went for 400 yards last game on Sunday.
Let me bring that up. I'll take a look.
It was some big amount of yardage. I was like, dang, I really wish I had him on my fantasy team because I would have won.
322 and 4 touchdowns.
No, 322. Yeah. Yeah, so that team's always going to be good. The only thing with Seattle can be how their defense, like their defense is good.
Yeah.
But like eventually the shootout games are going to start going against you.
Yeah.
Because eventually, I mean, Wilson loves running out of the pocket.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I wish I could find the stats. Maybe I'll look this up one day when I'm bored. But how many times he actually throws in the pocket versus how many times he just runs.
Right.
I think a lot of times he just does a bootleg every play because, and I mean, it works. It works for him and it works for the team. So, like, it's not bad, but it's just like, does this dude ever just sit in the pocket and throw the football or?
Yeah, no, I get you on that one.
But yeah, and he's got Tyler Lockett with him as a receiver. Like, man, that team, Seattle's always going to be good until Wilson retires, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
But then, yeah, 49ers, I gotta say, if there's any 49er fans listening, lay off Jimmy Garoppolo because y'all are going ridiculously crazy after one regular season game. Listen, I get it. He didn't have a great game. He missed open receivers. I don't know if you saw a replay, but he spun 3 times. No one was really around him, but he did 3 little spin moves and got sacked. I just thought it was funny because no one was he wasn't pressured until his 3rd spin. So why he decided to spin 2 other times, beyond me. But
maybe he's trying out for the national figure skating team.
I don't know what it was, but I was like, oh, okay. Like someone just tossed him into the washing machine and let it run for a couple spin cycles, and then that was it. But like the Niners don't have, they just signed Mohamed Sanu as a wide receiver. He was with Patriots for a bit, Bengals for a bit. The only reason I know he's with the Bengals because I found his football card last night on that team. So that's the only reason. I'm sure he's played for a couple other teams too, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners are one of those teams that got hit hard by injuries, and they even just put Richard Sherman on the injured reserve for the next 3 games.
Yeah, I seen that today. I was going to bring that up for you.
So, yeah, like no one really knew what happened. I think it's something to do with his leg, like leg strain or calf strain or a soft tissue or something. I haven't seen the latest update, but like this team's like hit hard by the injuries. Like if there's one team that needed a full training camp and 4 preseason games, man, it's this team. Like like they've just been hit hard with injury. I don't even really know why. I mean, it could have been maybe the air. I mean, obviously, California's air quality is terrible right now.
Yeah. And I guess, I don't know.
I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it's not really an excuse per se because like Arizona came in and was fine, but like they also didn't practice in it. So I don't know. Who knows? But man, like this team. But yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's gonna be fine. We saw it last year.
Yeah.
They beat the Saints in a shootout, and Aaron Andrews said, "How do you feel about this?" And Jimmy G was like, "Feels great, baby."
Oh no.
And that's the confidence we need out of him again. But
yeah,
it's going to be a learning curve because now obviously again teams have film on him, and they can figure out his tendencies. And I guess, so the 49ers played 4 running backs, and I think, or no, 5 running backs, sorry, and 4 wide receivers and tight ends.
Oh, wow.
And they asked the coach, Kyle Shanahan, the media was like, so like, what's going on? Like, your passing game kind of sucked.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, he was like, our wide receivers weren't really in our option for this first week. So basically, they went into week 1 knowing they weren't going to pass.
Right.
So it could be because of the injuries. Their first round pick, Brandon Ayuk, was injured. Deebo Samuel, I don't know if that name rings a bell, had a pretty phenomenal rookie year. Pretty phenomenal against the Seahawks in the last game.
Yeah.
But he broke his foot in the offseason and was scheduled to come back for game 1, but apparently had a setback. So he's out for another 2 games.
Oh, fun.
So, and then George Kittle kind of got hurt in the first half, like 30 seconds before halftime.
Yeah.
And this is something else that we could talk about maybe on another episode. But so when he got hit, so sometimes, the quarterback throws the ball and, the receiver is kind of defenseless.
Yeah.
Because he goes up for it,
Yeah.
gets hit kind of thing. So that kind of happened. The Arizona player kind of hit him in the knee.
Okay.
Kind of hobbled off kind of thing. But a quote-unquote 49er fan DM'd that Arizona player.
Oh, boy.
Completely threw a whole bunch of unnecessary verbiage to this guy.
Was this 49er fan you?
It was not. Listen.
Because you've been known to get banned by professional football players.
Yeah, shout out to Markway McDaniel. By the way, the Cowboys still suck, so you can unblock me on Twitter now. But no, it wasn't me, because this guy absolutely used words that I would never use to anyone in my life, because my mom would kill me.
And then she'd probably kill
yeah.
me because she knew that you got the words from me.
Probably. No, these are words that I don't think your mom would let you use. But yeah, it was just, and the 49ers made a statement saying that they're trying to figure out who this fan is so that they can ban him from any games or events for like the rest of his life.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. But yeah, but that's something like, now, like, so let's take away the fans' reaction for a while. Yeah. But like, that's something that, like, that's kind of on the quarterback. Yeah. You got to throw it better. You can't leave your guy, hanging out to dry, because things are going to happen. But
if it's an illegal hit, it's an illegal hit, right?
Yeah, I don't think it was illegal, though. I think it was just an unfortunate situation.
See, I know there is something in the rule book that states a defenseless player, and I thought that I will have to look it up for a future episode, because I'm pretty sure it has something to do with, even if a player is going up to get the ball, he is technically a defenseless player, and it should still be a penalty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think because Kittle's like fingertips were on the ball.
Right.
I think it was kind of like a bang bang play.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was tons of calls during that Arizona 49ers game that were quite interesting, because anytime Murray slid, now obviously the NFL is trying to make sure that quarterbacks are protected.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it. But there was one where Murray slid, and then our guy kind of was already in the process of going down.
Right.
to tackle him or, stop him or whatever. Yeah. And then when he contacted him, he actually just kind of rolled over him.
Yeah.
And they flagged it as like a 15-yard unnecessary roughness or whatever. So, like, I'm not trying to be a homer, but I've seen way worse not be called.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, you can't take stupid penalties. That's kind of the, refs are gonna ref.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you don't know what the refs are going to call or how they're going to call it. You just really can't put yourself in that situation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know. I think any fan of any team would look at that and be like, well, that was a weak call, but it was called and kind of ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, I think the Niners are I don't think they're going to win the division this year. They've already been hit so hard with injuries.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to, I mean, their next few matchups are against relatively, with all due respect, easier teams.
Right.
Right. We got the Jets, the Giants, Miami, Philadelphia's coming up. Not saying they're easy, but compared to their next stretch,
right?
Their next stretch is like the Packers, the Saints, the Seahawks, like twice, Arizona again, New England, Buffalo. So this next 5 weeks is going to really determine if this team's going to make the playoffs, really.
Yeah.
Because if you can't beat a team, if you go into New York and come out of it, because they play the Jets and the Giants back to back, if you go into it and come out 1-1, you're done. I don't see how you make the playoffs.
No.
Coming out of that week 1-1.
Yeah.
Because if you can't beat the Jets or the Giants,
you've got issues. You've got severe issues.
Yeah. And I think the Seahawks play them. I think they play them as well. So you got to beat these teams because the other teams in your division are playing them as well.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
So, but yeah, if they come out of New York with 1 win and 3 losses on the year, I don't know how they win 12 straight to finish how they did last year.
No, it'll be a tough go.
So, but yeah, I think they'll still make the playoffs, especially with this new. I looked up the format; it's really weird, but apparently the Eagles could have made the playoffs 6 years ago if this playoff structure was in place, because they were 10-6, which is typically division lead or a playoff spot. Yeah. But I guess they missed. But if this playoff format was there 6 years ago, they would have made it.
So maybe let's transition to I don't know, another team that's going to make the playoffs, and another San Francisco team that Tampa
Bay Rays.
No, I'm thinking of maybe another San Francisco team that's not really doing that well. And
Oakland Athletics.
Yeah. So, no, my Dodgers team actually is the very first team in the in baseball to actually have an X beside their name for clinching a playoff position, which I'm quite impressed with. Now, if only they can, translate this success into October baseball success. As you keep on reminding me.
Well, I mean, it shows, right? You can have all this, we just talked about with football. You can have all the success you want.
Yeah. But
if you're not hot at the right time, who cares, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. As long as they don't
eventually,
as long as they don't have to play the frickin' Houston Astros, I'd be happy.
But San Diego Padres are doing really well though. Like, I think San Diego is gonna be the next team to clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Unless a American League team like Tampa or
The Jays.
I don't even know who else is. Yeah, the Jays could clinch within the next week or so, but I think like the very next team I think will probably be San Diego, and they're only like 3 games back of the Dodgers, and 3.5.
Yeah.
So
things could have changed tonight. Who knows?
I think they play each other at least one more series, don't they?
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure. I know the Padres play the Giants, I think, one more series.
Yeah.
So that'll be an easy sweep for San Diego, but I think the biggest thing for this season is all the postponements going on with either COVID, with the what was it, the protests?
Yeah.
Protests, the fires in California, and even Seattle. So the Giants were supposed to play Seattle in Seattle, and they determined that the air quality was so bad in Washington that they moved the game to San Francisco. San Francisco has terrible air quality. So you could imagine how bad it is up there if you have to move it just south.
I think that was you that tweeted out a picture of the stadium in San Francisco. And oh my God, like that was, I know the air quality is shit. I know it, messes with players and everybody, but it was a gorgeous looking photo. Like how red, like how orange, the orange matched their uniforms. Like it was just absolutely, it was a gorgeous photo, like regardless, like, and all I'm going to say is you better not have a gender reveal party and start a fucking fire.
Man, I feel so bad for that kid who's going to be born because, like, their parents started a fire. And I'm sure the parents feel horrible.
Yeah.
And, but, like, feeling bad is not stopping this fire.
That
like,
party, honestly, that party had to have been lit.
All right. Well, this will be our last podcast because we get canceled. But
I am so sorry. After about 5 episodes, I'm getting really used to these sound pads.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Okay, so question for you.
Okay. All right.
If the Dodgers or any team who wins the World Series, is there going to be an asterisk beside their name?
Of course.
You think so?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Like, it's unprecedented times. Like, maybe not in the NFL, maybe. There won't be an asterisk if they can pull off a full season. But MLB, like 100%, there's going to be an asterisk. Like, just with the shortened season and all the delays and whatever else. And, like, if these teams, like, finish out the season, are they going to make the other teams that are, like, eliminated finish out all their games too? Like, if the Dodgers finish their season early and they have to wait 4 damn weeks in order for all the other teams to catch up, and they're just going to be sitting, like, what the hell? They'll be cold, right? But I also heard that the league is actually trying to convince the Players Association to do a bubble format for the playoffs. I knew that they were waiting on votes, or they were hoping to get in votes or whatever, and I just haven't really heard anything much after that. I just
pretty-
knew that they were looking
pretty
into
sure
it.
it's official.
But, like, it's good if they do, as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, as far as the asterisks, yeah, there's going to be an asterisk. There's going to be an asterisk in the NBA. There's going to be an asterisk in the NHL.
So basically, if the Dodgers win, I can still make fun of you because they won a 60-game season and not a 162 game season. Is that?
Yep.
Okay.
I
Right,
really,
that's fair.
I really hope you feel those two middle fingers going through the Skype call that's pointed directly at your San Francisco 49ers freaking pitcher.
No, that's fair. You can do that all you want. That is fine with me.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No.
As long as it's not a full season, then I'm good.
Yeah. And I guess talking about bubbles, I guess, I don't know, the NHL, we're waiting on one more team to win the series. If it's going to take one game, they're going to finish out, I don't know, potentially tomorrow. Or if the Islanders are going to push it to Game 7. I really wouldn't mind.
I really hope.
You're hoping for Game 7?
No.
No? What the hell?
No. I could tell that's where you were going with that. But
Yes. I'd love to see the Islanders in it.
Oh man, I hate saying I want Tampa to win because clearly we've all seen them win the Stanley Cup before.
Nathan,
Listen,
even though we're talking about
team.
even though we're talking about hockey, it's still Tampa. They switched the A to an O. It's official. I think they're changing the signs out this week. It's going to be Tampa Bay, Florida. So
But
okay.
I hope the Lightning can't change that. I hope the Lightning win. I don't know. They went from a team that I hated to, for some reason, a team that I like. You know, maybe it's because I've seen them play live. I don't know.
But who are they playing? Canada's team?
They weren't playing the Flames. They were playing the Maple Leafs.
That's what I said. Canada's team?
Yeah, no, I ignored that.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
But when they did win that game, that was their 50th win of the season that year. So that was pretty cool. But yeah. I don't know that he hasn't played at all, but they have Steven Stamkos. He's injured.
Yeah, I seen that he skated with the team there a couple of days ago.
Yeah, so hopefully if the team wins, he can come back. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I just don't think I can cheer. Not that I'm really going to cheer anyway, but I don't know. If Dallas wins, I mean, it kind of sucks for the Flames because it could have been us.
Yeah.
You know. But I saw the Islanders, Jordan Eberle. I don't pay attention to the Islanders at all, and I didn't realize it was him that scored the OT goal last night.
Right.
Because his beard is so thick. I'm so used to baby Eberle.
Well, when he was in Edmonton, they never made the playoffs or, got out of the first round.
That's true.
He leaves and things are still the same.
I was like, man, that's they kept saying Eberle, and I was like, that's not Jordan. I was like, no, it can't be. And I was like, holy crap. I clearly don't pay attention to this team because I did not know his facial hair was as thick as it was.
And let's be honest, us living in Canada, do we really pay attention to the Islanders?
No. And the only person you would hear about on that team really is going to be him because he's Canadian and played for Edmonton.
Yeah. Well, I kind of think Edmonton kind of wants to brush that one underneath their table and be like, Eberle who?
Yeah.
You mean probably. If we still had him, we might be making might be going further in the playoffs. But yeah, I really like how Boudreau came in and basically came in with a winning mindset with that team. Like they've completely changed. Like, and that's another team that's like Jonathan Tavares, who, like the Leafs still can't make it out of the first goddamn round. And what is this, 2 years in a row that the Islanders have made it past the first round and are like, they're a damn good team. And they're young. Like, we were even talking about like stupid trade rumors. Like there's Flames fans that are wanting to like raid the Islanders. And I'm like, they're not going to give up any of their players.
True.
So, yeah.
So if you had to pick out of the remaining three teams, who do you think is going to win the cup?
I'm going to say I would love the Islanders, but the probability of them even getting past, winning 2 more games in a row against Tampa, it could be it could be really hard for them to do. If it's not the Islanders, I'm going to have to say it's going to be Dallas. One of my good buddies, RJ, is a huge Dallas fan, and I like to see Dallas win just because of that.
So if Dallas wins, does Jerome McGinley get his name on the cup?
He didn't play a game for them this year, did he?
No, not at all.
So then he wouldn't.
He hasn't played a game for them since like 1993 or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. No, most definitely not.
Damn it.
Even though they did draft him.
Darn.
And speaking of, honestly, I was kind of sad to see Vegas, exit the way they did. I don't know if you read much, but the 5 weeks they were in the bubble in Edmonton, they actually had pizza parties for like homeless shelters. They sent a bunch of people like pizzas to homeless shelters for the past 5 weeks that they've been in the bubble in Edmonton. So, like,
damn,
yeah, like that's some damn good charity work, hey?
Yeah. God damn it, Vegas.
like ever since they came into the NHL, they've just been like the team to be like looking up to on how to do things.
For sure.
So, and they kind of hated to see them go. I just read that on Facebook when we were doing this podcast, so it's like that's kind of cool.
And their social media team is like top notch.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I don't know if there's a social media team out there. Maybe the Seattle Kraken. The Kraken are starting to crack up on the internet. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. You were just waiting for that, weren't you?
Yeah, it was either that or the Crickets. I wasn't sure which one you were going with, so. Okay. Yeah, that's that too. All right. But no, I mean their Twitter game is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like whoever runs it, probably some 20-some-year-old person who I'm completely jealous of. But they hit the right buttons, you know?
Yeah.
No pun intended. But like they just know what to say, when to say it. You know, they bring in like, you know, like Carol Baskin and, you know, the most wildest things you wouldn't really think. Like the Flames have started to get a little more lighthearted in their posts. Like they've done a lot of office related quotes and things like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for. But man, like Vegas just like they'll find something in the world and just bring it into their game and just relate it somehow. And you're like, wow, like
Yeah.
So it was sad to see their social media team have to take an early break. That's for sure.
Yeah. And you know what? I guess, you know, another good kind of feels good story that's coming out of Saskatoon. The Saskatoon Hilltops football team actually welcomed their first female athlete to the team this past week. I guess it was yesterday. And yeah, like that's big. I'm not sure what position she plays in, but hopefully she does well and turn some heads doing it.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that's pretty big especially in Canada. Like, we've seen some stories out of like the States of girls, you know, doing really well on guys' teams and things like that.
Well, this is a tackle football. Like, this is, I think it would probably be along the same lines as, what is it? The Calgary Colts.
Yeah, the Colts.
Is that the?
Yeah.
It's not the university. It's kind of, yeah. Just kind of like one under the university, I believe. Yeah, and like any woman playing football at that level is absolutely huge as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, congratulations to the Hilltops for actually breaking the mold, and hopefully we see more. Yeah, and like hopefully, like, you know, if she has dreams of, you know, being in the CFL or whatnot, like I hope she does, and I hope teams and scouts like actually take her seriously and like 100%.
not use it as a publicity stunt.
Yep.
Like we've seen how well that goes over in the CFL. We had Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
You know, I think everyone wanted him to do well, but like more publicity.
And we had Ricky Williams.
Sam? Yeah, Ricky Williams. Do you remember Michael Sam?
Somewhat.
He was the first openly gay athlete, football player, which is good. Like nothing against them.
Yeah,
but like went to Montreal, didn't really do well.
Yeah,
like you just kind of wonder how much of it is publicity.
Yeah,
rather than because like Michael Sam wasn't that great of a player, like, but I think teams drafted him
just because,
or like whoever, like, which is unfortunate because like, I mean, clearly he's good enough to at least get to the draft and like the combine and things like that. But
and
so you know, hopefully if she has dreams of playing pro, just let her do her thing. Like,
and you know, honestly, even in football, like there's been women starting to coach at the pro level and even ref at the pro level. Like, you know, we're breaking the mold slowly but surely. So, you know, I kind of hope this is the next step. I really do.
Yes, hopefully.
Like I remember the NHL trying to do it with Manon Riom or whatever her name was. She played an exhibition game with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh my God.
I'm running with this, aren't I?
It's going to be the longest damn NFL season.
Oh, by week
history.
By week 3, I'll be over it.
You're not.
No.
I know that you're not going to get over it.
I am so sorry. So yeah, no. I think that probably wraps everything up. Unless you have any final thoughts you want to go for. Any more?
Bannerman's bold but stupid predictions.
Any more of those?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
No. Yeah. No. My bold prediction is I will have no more bold predictions tonight.
Okay, that sounds fair. And on that note, I think we'll wrap it up. And you have a good week.
You as well.
And talk to you again.